Hello, I'm Kallol Dahal, and in today's class, we are going to learn about a father's letter to his son and a poem from chapter 2, grade 8. So let's begin.
Hello students, welcome to the class once again. This time we are going to read the next chapter, A Father's Letter to His Son. So let's begin. A father's letter to his son. In a city, a boy lived with his parents. His grandparents used to live far away in another city. The parents would take their son to his grandparents' house during summer holidays every year. They would stay there for 15 to 20 days and then return. The boy always loved visiting there. This continued every year. With time, the boy grew up. One day, the young boy said to his parents, "Now I'm big. I can go to my grandparents' house alone. Is it okay if I go on my own? Please let me go by myself." His parents refused at first, but when the boy insisted, finally they agreed. His parents were worried about his safety, so they taught him everything he needed to know about traveling alone. The boy wanted to enjoy his stay with his grandparents. He wanted to take some of his stuff. He asked his mother, "Mom, this is summer. I would like to take my swimming goggles and swimming suit. May I take them, please?" The mother said, "Okay, but always go swimming with your grandparents." He said, "Don't worry, Mom." He loved his grandparents a lot. He wanted to take some gifts for them and said, "Would it be all right if I took sunglasses and mufflers for them?" She smiled and said that it was a good idea. The day came when the boy was to leave for his grandparents' house alone. His parents came with the boy to see him off. When the boy was comfortably settled in his berth in the train, his parents left and waited for the train to depart. While waiting, the father went to the window and kept talking to his son. While talking, his father handed him an envelope through the window and said, "Son, if you feel afraid or scared on the way, open this and read it. It will help you to calm down." The boy kept that envelope safely in his pocket and said goodbye to his parents. A departure announcement was made. The boy smiled and told his father, "I remember everything. Don't worry." The train got a signal to depart. At every station where the train stopped, people kept coming and going. The boy was observing all this. He saw that everyone was with someone and soon started feeling lonely. At one station, a big man entered the compartment. The boy was scared of him. He tried to sleep but could not, because he kept on thinking of the big man. He got even more scared. Then he remembered his father's letter. He put his hand into his pocket, opened the envelope, and read the letter. His father had written, "Don't be afraid. I am here with you on this train in the adjacent compartment." Just after reading that letter, the boy's face lit up and all the fear vanished. So that's the chapter that we were going to read, and we have come to the end. Students, you must have noticed the highlighted words in this chapter. For example, refused was the first letter. For example, refused is the first word that's been highlighted. The meaning of refused is to not accept something. So if someone asks you something or asks you to do something, then you can say no. That means that's refusing. Ask you someone constantly to make them do what you want them to do. That's called insisting, to force them to do something. Similarly, there are other words as well. I hope you would find the meanings to those. For example, see here, departure announcement. It's an announcement made in the train station when the train is going to leave, the final boarding call. So now let's dive into the exercises. Okay, here we are with the first exercise, crossword puzzle. Here we need to fill the puzzles taking help from the given clues. So let's do the first one. See here, across two, it says next to something and it starts with A. So next to something starting with A is, yes, you guessed it correctly, adjacent, right? So we are going to fill that up over here. Fill it up very carefully. A, D, J, A, adjacent. So now let's go for 3 down. Here it is. To leave a place starting with D. So to leave a place starting with D is, yes, depart. This fits over here, D-E-P-A-R-T. Now let's go to 4 down. A section on a train starting with C, that is compartment. C-O-M-P-A-R-T-M-E-N-T, compartment. So in this way I suggest you do this exercise. So this is one of your homeworks. Now let's go into another exercise. Okay, the second exercise is write who made these remarks and for what purpose. So the sentences are given to us in one column. We have to find out who said that, and we also need to write down why that person used the given sentence. So let's see over here. Sentence number A. Is it okay if I go on my own? If you remember the text, you must also remember who said it. So who said it? Yes, the boy said it. So the boy said it when he was asking for permission with his parents to go to his grandparents. So see, now that's the purpose. Purpose is he asked his parents to go to his grandparents on his own. That's the purpose. Next one, B. Please let me go by myself. Same, the boy says this one again. Why does it say this? Because he wants his parents to let him go by himself. He wants to go alone. So that's the purpose in this one. Then C. May I take them, please? This is again also said by boy when he was asking with his parents whether he could take some sunglasses and mufflers for his grandparents. So that's the purpose. Then D. Okay, but always go swimming with your grandparents. The mother says this. When she gives permission to her son to go to his grandparents, the mother says, okay, but always go swimming with her grandparents. So the purpose is to make him safe when he goes for swimming. Would it be alright if I took sunglasses and mufflers for them? See, we have already talked about this. So it's boy says this, and I've already said the purpose as well. Write it down. Now let's dive into another one. Answer the following questions. Where did the boy want to visit? Now see, students, whenever you say did like this and there is a verb want, in your answer make sure that this verb want is written in the past tense. So the answer to this would be the boy wanted to visit his grandparents. We have written wanted because of did. Since did is a past form of the verb do, we have to use the past form of the second verb, actually the main verb. So we have made the past tense of want to wanted. If the question would have asked where does the boy want to visit, our answer would have been the boy wants to visit. Only if the question had does instead of did. So please pay attention to this when you're answering the questions. So in this case, this is the correct one. Wanted. The boy wanted to visit his grandparents. Let's go into next one. How long would the boy live with his grandparents? Now see, the answer is given over here. The boy generally lives for 15 to 20 days. So the boy would live 15 to 20 days with his grandparents. That is how you have to write down the answer. Now let's go to the third one. So see, this question has did and want, but this is in negative form. So let's see how the answer goes. The parents did not want to let him go alone at first because they were worried about his safety. Now you see why we didn't need to change want into wanted as we had done in the first question. That is because we had to use did in the answer itself, since this is in negative form, not. So we said the parents did not want. So once we use did in a sentence, we cannot use the past form of the main verb. We have to use the simple present form of the main verb. Do not forget about this. So similarly, question number D, E and F, please do it as your homework. Now let's go into another exercise. If you were the boy, what else would you ask your parents to take with you? Talk to your friends. It is better if you write it down in your copy as well. So this is your homework as well. Now let's go into another exercise. Now this exercise is a writing exercise. Develop a story based on the outlines given below. Write a suitable title too. So whenever an exercise such as this is given to you, always make sure that you do not fill in these given blanks. This is not fill in the blanks. This is just an outline of a story given to you, taking reference of which you have to develop a whole story. So this goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a poor shoemaker who lived with his wife. They lived in a small house, and they also had many tough days to earn the daily bread because the shoemaker was already poor. You see, whenever we are developing a story, we always have to make sure that we write everything in the past tense. Do not use any present tense. Even if the verbs given here are in present tense, like runs, has a piece, gets up, finds, gets surprised, we are not going to use any present tense over here. We are using all the past form of the verbs. So keeping all these things in mind, I expect you to do this as your homework as well. Now, the next part of the same writing is write a story that ends in she finally realized her mistake. So here you have to form your own story where someone is making a mistake but not realizing the mistake at first. And gradually, as the story progresses, the character in the story realizes the mistake that they have made. So make a story, come up with a story as such, and then write it down as your homework. Okay, now let's go into grammar portion. The first exercise in grammar is match the statements in column A with their correct questions in column B. So the answer to some questions are given here in column A, and then we have to find the questions in column B. So let's start. I am late. Now we have to find what is the question for this answer. I am late. See here, the fourth one. Am I late? So yes, the answer is I am late. Now B. I can help you. 6. Can I help you? Yes, I can help you. She is sleeping. Is she sleeping? This is the question for question number C. We have met before. Have we met before? You work at home. Do you work at home? It costs rupees 10. Does it cost rupees 10? She went home. Did she go home? They left for the cinema. Did they leave for the cinema? So this is how you do it. I hope you have understood it. Now let's go into question number B. Change the following statements into yes/no questions. Now we can take reference from question number A and then do question number B. Let's begin. He loves this town. See how there's an S over here? So whenever there's S in the main verb, always begin your yes/no question with does. And after we use does in this one, like this is a helping verb. So when a helping verb is present with es or s, we are going to use the simplest form of the verb, the main verb. Does he love this town? How we have used does and then no s, the simplest form of the verb. So always do like this. Then they always play football. They is plural, so we are going to use do. Do they always play football? That's the question. She can fly aeroplane. We have a modal verb here. So modal verb, let's begin it with another modal verb. Can she fly aeroplane? That's the answer. There are some smart students in the school. Are there some smart students in the school? Or are there any smart students in the school? They went to the river yesterday. Now see, went is the past form of the verb go. So, and this is in the past tense as well. So the question should start with did they go? Because since we have already used one past form, we can't use another past form of a verb in the same sentence. Did they go to the river yesterday? I hope you can do the remaining ones. So the remaining ones F, G, H, I and J. These are again your homework. Okay, now let's go to reading 2, the second portion of this chapter. changing world. When I was a young man, I wanted to change the world. I found it was difficult to change the world, so I tried to change my nation. When I found that I couldn't change the nation, I began to focus on my town. I couldn't change the town, and as an older man, I tried to change my family. Now, as an old man, I realized the only thing I can change is myself. And suddenly I realized that if long ago I had changed myself, I could have made an impact on my family. My family and I could have made an impact on our town. Their impact could have changed the nation, and I could indeed have changed the world. So this poem talks about how you need to change yourself first in order to change the whole world. I hope you understood the poem. Now your homework is you have to do the remaining exercises of this chapter as well, where you have been given fill in the blanks and question answers. I hope you do that. So A and B are your homework, along with other homeworks that I've already given it to you. I hope you do all of those. So with that, we have come to the end of this class. I hope you have understood, if not everything, most of the things. If you have any confusion or any feedback, please get back to us. I hope you enjoyed the class. So that's all for today. Enjoy.